Self and individuality, according to Bhagwan Sri Ramnam Maharishi, devotee asked, does not death dissolve the individuality of a person so that there can be no rebirth, just as the rivers discharged into the ocean lose their individualities? Maharishi said, but when the waters evaporate and return as rain on the hills, they once more flow in the form of rivers and fall into the ocean. So also the individualities during sleep lose their separateness and yet born return as individuals according to their sanskaras or past tendencies. Even so, it is in death, and the individuality of the person with sanskaras is not lost. Devotee asked, how can that be? Maharishi said, see how a tree whose branches have been cut grows again, so long as the roots of the tree remains unimpaired. The tree will continue to grow. Similarly, the sanskaras which have merely sunk into the heart on death but have not perished for that reason occasion rebirth at the right time, and that is how jivas are reborn. Devotee asked, how could the innumerable jivas and the wide universe, whose existence is correlative to that to the jivas, sprout up from such subtle sanskaras sunk in the heart? Maharishi told, just as the big banyan tree sprout from a tiny seed, so do the jivas and the whole universe with name and form sprout up from the subtle sanskaras. Devotee asked, how does individuality emanate from the Absolute Self and how is its return made possible? Maharishi said, as a spark proceeds from fire, individuality emanates from the Absolute Self. The spark is called the ego. In the case of the Agyani, the ego identifies itself with some object. Simultaneously with its rise, it cannot remain without such association with objects. This association is due to Agyana, whose destruction is the objective of one's efforts. In this tendency to identify itself with objects is destroyed, the ego becomes pure and then it also merges into its source. The false identification of oneself with the body is Dehatma Buddhi or I am the body idea. This must go before good results can follow. Devotee asked, how am I to eradicate it? Maharishi said, you exist in Sushupti without being associated with the body and the mind, but in the other two states you are associated with them. If you were one with the body, how could you exist without the body in Sushupti? You can separate yourself from what is external to you, but not from that which is one with you. Hence, the ego cannot be one with the body. This must be realized in the waking state. The three states are studied in order to gain this knowledge. Devotee asked, how can the ego, which is conformed to two of the states, endeavor to realize that which comprises all the three states? Maharishi said, the ego in its purity is experienced in the intervals between two states or between two thoughts. The ego is like the worm which leaves one hold after it catches another. Its true nature is known when it is cut out of contact with objects or thoughts. You should realize this interval as the abiding, unchangeable reality, your true being through the conviction gained by the study of the three states, Jagrit, Swapna, and Sushupti. Devotee asked, can I not remain in Sushupti as long as I like and also be in it at will, just as I am in the waking state? What is the Jnani's experience of these three states? Maharishi said, Sushupti doesn't exist in your waking state also. You are in Sushupti even now. That should be consciously entered into and reached in this very waking state. There is no real there is no real going in and coming out of it. To be aware of Sushupti in the Jagrit state is Jagrit Sushupti, and that is Samadhi. The Agyani cannot remain long in Sushupti because he is forced by his nature to emerge from it. His ego is not dead and it will rise again and again, but the Jnani crushes the ego at its source. It may seem to emerge at times in his case, also if impelled by prarabdha, that is in the case of the Jnani also. For all outward purposes, prarabdha would seem to sustain or keep up the ego, as in the case of the Agyani, but there is this fundamental difference that the Agyani ego, when it rises up, really it has never subsided except in deep sleep, is quite ignorant of its source. In other words, the Agyani is not aware of his Sushupti in his dreams and waking states. In the case of the Jnani, on the contrary, the rise of existence of the ego is only apparent and he enjoys his unbroken transcendental experience in spite of such apparent rise or existence of the ego, keeping his attention, lakshya, always on the source. This ego is harmless. It is merely like the skeleton of a burnt rope. Though with a form, it is useless to tie up anything. By constantly keeping one's attention on the source, the ego is dissolved. Is that source like a salt doll in the sea? Devotee asks, what is the significance of the crucifixion? Maharishi said, the body is the cross. Jesus, the Son of Man, is the ego or I am the body idea. When the Son of Man is crucified on the cross, the ego perishes, and what survives is the absolute being. It is the resurrection of the glorious self of the Christ, the Son of God. Devotee asks, but how is crucifixion justified? Is not killing a terrible crime? Maharishi said, everyone is committing suicide. The eternal blissful natural state has been smothered by this ignorant life. In this way, the present life is due to the killing of the eternal positive existence. Is it not really a case of suicide? So why worry about killing? Devotee asked, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhansa says that Nirvikalpa Samadhi cannot last longer than 21 days. If persist in, the person dies in this effect. Maharishi said, when the prarabdha is exhausted, the ego is completely dissolved without leaving any trace behind. This is the final revelation, nirvana. Unless prarabdha is exhausted, the ego will rise up, as it may appear to do in the case of Jivan Muktas. Hari Om Tat Sat.